I feel that the reason why you and I are both here today, why these cards came out on my desk, and why we're having this conversation right now, Capricorn, it's all for very good reason. And
watch them grow, perceive, devote. This is the seed, light the show. Watch them grow.
Hello, Capricorn. Welcome to your, I don't know why I was looking at them cards like I was about to set them on fire. I'm not, because I really love them. Moving right along. Welcome to your June 2020. I was about to say 2017. Look, this is something that has been legit a theme for these readings I've done thus far. I have been saying all kinds of random dates. But anywho, let me get into this before I ramble. In this vicinity, you guys are going to see me shuffling the cards that are already laid out on my desk. But what I was about to say was, with all of the readings, there's been random dates that have come out. Well, not dates, but years. But literally 2017 wanted to come out of my mouth. So if that has any significance to you, or if you're a woke booker, you guys might want to read the year 2017 and see if that has any significance to you. But anywho, the first overall energy card that you guys have for the month of June is Breath of the Cosmos. Make sure my mic is here. You know what I'm saying? Breath of the Cosmos. You know what I'm saying? And it says, my will to thy will, micromanaging the universe. And the next card that we have is the 7 Star Sisters, Birthing Creations, Tapestry of Life and Expression. Ooh, all right. It's funny with this whole micromanaging the universe thing. Me and my mentorship group, we were watching a movie that I felt led to have them watch the other night. And I said to them that it was a scene in the movie. The movie that we were watching was The Shack, if you've ever seen it. It's my favorite book of all time, you know, aside from the Kabbalion and, you know, all my woo-woo stuff. But that book is very, very important to me. But we watched the movie, and it was a scene in the movie when they were speaking about forgiveness. And it's a scene where, you know, I don't want to give the movie away if you haven't seen it, but, you know, it's a dad. He experienced the loss of a child, and he's on this spiritual journey. And one of the huge parts of the journey was for him to forgive, or I wouldn't say the biggest, but more or less like a pivotal point in the journey, if you will, was him forgiving the person who was the cause of his child not being alive anymore. And he just went bananas and was like, how could I ever do that? He's, you know, I want him to hurt. I want, you know, God to punish him. I want God to hurt him. I want him to feel the pain, you know, that I felt, and so on and so forth. And what I was telling my group was, this would be an example of what micromanaging the universe looks like, right? Because what this does is it nullifies the need for a power higher than us, right? Because if we think of, and whatever your concept of God or the all or the universe is, we're talking about human beings being an aspect of all that is, right? So we are the micro to the macro, you know what I mean? So in a sense, if, and this is just, you know, how my mind works, because I analyze people in real life, it's digging a little deeper to that. When we find ourselves in those positions, and more often than not, like if we were to simplify it, we would call it like trying to play God, or, you know, trying to be the God of your life. And in different schools of thought, that's legit a thing. But what I mean by this is it's taking a stance of saying that this is my situation, and this is something that happened to me, right? And you're not doing your job, right? Because This needs to work the way that I see that it's supposed to work. You know what I'm saying? To the universe. You know what I'm saying? So all of you, I'm sure, know what micromanagement is. It's like when your boss is breathing down your throat and things at the store. Did you finish those TPS reports? Some of y'all might be too young to know what that's about, but those of you who know what that's about, did you finish those TPS reports? You know what I'm saying? Sips coffee, moving right along. But when we're micromanaging, we're telling, in essence, the universe, God, spirit, whatever you call it, how to do their job. Because it's the thought of, this didn't work out the way that I thought it should, or this didn't happen the way that I thought it should. So clearly you're screwing up here, author of the universe. You know what I'm saying? So let me tell you how to do your job right to benefit me. You know what I'm saying? So what this card is talking about, when it says my will to thy will, right? This is an opportunity that's being offered to Capricorns in the month of June, right? Because this, I feel, is very transformative on your path. So what this says to me, it's a level of resistance, and it's a lack thereof of trust for spirit, God, universe, whatever you call it in the bigger scheme of things. Because if one really trusted God or the universe fully and wholeheartedly and believed in the most truest sense that everything in this experience that we call life is unfolding for one's highest good, and even when things look to be falling apart and things of the sort, you know that something good will come out of something terrible. So there is no need to say, this is what I need you to do. This needs to go like this. And even if it's in the sense of you not telling that to spirit, it's more or less just telling that to life. Like hypothetically, and this is me kind of jumping ahead just from what I see in you guys' cards here. It's like if something doesn't work out, you know, you're trying to get a specific job and you keep applying and you don't get it. Or, you know, worst case scenario, if a person broke up with you, you know what I mean? You lose a job. It's a thought of, you know, this horrible thing happened to me and there's no way out of this. I'm alone and I'm abandoned. I need to figure this out on my own on how to do this. As opposed to, and that's when we isolate situations and we just see it as like this isolated incident and don't see it as a part of a continuum. You know what I mean? Meaning that a lot of things led up to this particular event that is upsetting us, right? And then there's a whole future that comes from that space based on what it is that we do, because we have no control in the bigger scheme in life of what happens to us. But we do have control over how we choose to respond to what happens. But we don't have control over what happens and what doesn't, if that's making sense, you know? So going into, so what I wanted to say with that is that there's a lack thereof of understanding the intricacies of, and that's only if you resonate with this, because if you don't, then that's not your particular issue or whatever. But anywho, I say that because it's a lack thereof of understanding the process of all of this, and that kind of causes one more grief. And I always tell people that your belief system, your religion, whatever you build your life on, like with your Hierophant card here being at the foundation of you guys spread, your belief system or your religion or what have you, the school of thought that you follow, the principles you base your life on, those are supposed to work for you. And if they're not working for you, it's time to get a new belief system. You know what I mean? Because things that we believe in, part of the reason why many of you are here watching this video right now, in times of trouble, when we're lost, when we're confused, which is what I see in you guys' overall energy, when we're lost, when we're confused, when we don't know what to do or where to go, you know, we don't know what our next step should be, we look out into the world for guidance, for someone to speak to our situation, to give us clarity, you know, on what we should do next or how we should handle this situation or what is the strange feeling that I'm feeling, right? And that's the purpose of our belief systems. And if your belief system doesn't do that for you and your belief system legit has you feeling like this, like what you build your life on, if what you build your life on with the Hierophant and you guys below energy has you feeling like the Five of Pentacles and you're above energy, like this is how you looking at yourself right now. If your belief system or your religion does that to you, then it's time to kind of reconsider some things because it's not working for you. the things we don't have answers to, what we believe is supposed to fill in the gaps of that, to make sense of this human experience. You know what I mean? Whatever that is that one chooses to believe. But with the other card you guys have, the 7 Star Sisters, this is speaking, it says, I don't know if I said that, birth and creations, tapestry of life and expression. This is talking about you guys going through a transformation, right? Like aligning with your authentic self, right? Or your inner child, however you want to look at it. And that facet of yourself being pregnant with possibility, if you will, an idea, a creative project, or something that could revolutionize mankind, something that's a great contribution to the collective. However, because things are not panning out the way that one thinks that they should, which I can already see as an outdated and antiquated perception or mold that one is trying to put themselves into, that's what's preventing you guys from manifesting what it is that you're here to manifest, or creating what it is that you guys are here to create. Yet, I feel that the reason why you and I are both here today, why these cards came out on my desk, and why we're having this conversation right now, Capricorn, it's all for very good reason. In the sense that I feel this month is going to be a catalytic month for you. Coming into June with the 3 of Wands in the reverse, this is saying to me that you guys are coming into the month of June holding yourself back. So there's a whole world out there, proverbially speaking. There's many different opportunities. However, it's not taking advantage of them. It's wasting your energy. It's wasting your resources, on something that isn't contributing to the overall goal or your overall mission or your overall direction. If we're talking about from within out, if we're simply just talking about your own personal development, it's either an outdated belief system or an outdated belief about yourself that makes you think that what you desire or what you want or how life is supposed to go just isn't possible. So it's something inside of you that's rising up, right? It's something that wants to come to the surface, but it's resisting that because should, ought, supposed to. This isn't supposed to go like this. This should not be like this. You can't make money at that and things of the sort, right? Because hypothetically, we could say that you guys have, a creative project, right? But it's this false belief that, artists don't make no money. I need to be making money right now. I need to be focused on that. You know what I mean? So it's vacating your true desires. Now, even more so with you guys' central energy, which is the Queen of Pentacles and the reverse, and your challenge card being the 2 of Swords. That's what lets me know that you guys are, we could say, of course, you're at a stalemate, you know what I'm saying? But it's a choice that you guys are I'm not going to even say you're going to have to make, because you don't have to do anything that you want to do, but stay who you are, pee sometimes and die. You know what I'm saying? That's the only thing that's required of you as a human being. But there's a need for you to spend some time and solace and to reattune to yourself, because with the I cannot talk. BTW, heads up, my mouth, it's doing Mercury retrograde things, you know what I'm saying? But moving right along. But with you guys, Queen of Pentacles in the reverse, this is letting me know that it's living up to some sort of a standard, right? Whether that's a societal standard, a gender standard, you know what I mean? A family traditional standard, your religious belief standard, whatever the case it may be. But it's being more concerned with appearances or a stance you take or a role that you play in some way, shape, form, or fashion for other people. And on top of that, there being a lack thereof of work-life balance. So something's off kilter because you're doing too much of something. And what I feel, because I do believe it could be, if we were to say this super duper mundane, this would be, talking about keeping up appearances and needing to, get a little bit more. You're spending too much time at work, need to balance that out with your home life type of deal. But what I feel with this, I feel it's holding yourself to a certain standard that comes from someone that's not you. And the standard that you feel pressured to uphold it's either an antiquated mindset or old perception of yourself, or it's something that's a pressure from people outside of you. And there's a need this month for you guys to go within and to reattune to who you are and what your life is about, and asking yourself if your life really makes you happy. Or like I said, with the Hierophant and the Five of Pentacles, it's like, is what you're building, is what you're building your life upon, are those principles and those values, are they making you feel abundant? Are they making you feel excited about life? Are you happy? You know what I mean? And if they're not, again, something needs to be readjusted. And the thing that I feel that needs to be readjusted, and the truth about the imbalance I feel like you guys are experiencing this month, is because one has vacated their heart space. And that happens over time sometimes. It's, you know, I mean, with kids, if you think about it, like when a kid graduates from high school, like leading up to your graduation, it's your parents like, well, what you gonna be when you grow up? And oh, what you gonna go to school for? And oh, you're doing all of this. And when you're a young person, it's a desire to please your parents and be what it is that they want you to be, because you really don't know too much better because you're young. But then it's like you go to college and you meet all of these different people because maybe you stayed at the same school, lived in the same town, was around the same people. And then you go to college and you find that there's a whole nother world out there. You find out that there's majors in school that aren't just your typical, you know, lawyer, doctor, you know, nurse, whatever, you know, basic kind of stuff. And it starts to open your mind up to a new reality. And then there's cognitive dissonance, because now it becomes the birthing of this person. And not saying this is literally the situation, it's figurative. So if this resonates with your situation, then by all means. But then you have this person, your authentic self, that, you know, the person who you were raised to be went to, you know, school to get their JD so you could be a good old lawyer, pass the bar and things, because you come from a long line of lawyers. But now there's this other facet of you that goes to school and finds out that there's such of a thing as mass communications, where you can do radio and broadcast journalism and, you know, writing for magazines and things of the sort. And prior to that, you never knew people could even go to college for that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, whoa, so there's something in you that has an affinity for this in so many words. So you feel drawn towards it, but the cognitive dissonance comes in the fact of expectations and your true desires, right? When we talk about what passion is, like what it is that you guys are getting to the root of this month, what passion is what makes you excited about life. Like, what makes you want to get out of bed every day? Even if you're not doing it now, it's finding out what that thing is. Like, what lights your fire? What makes you feel happy to be alive? Like, to wake up and thank the universe that there's breath in your lungs and you get to spend another day doing this thing that brings you so much joy. I feel that Capricorns have lost touch of what that is. It doesn't matter why. It's just the fact that you've shut off from your heart space. For some people, it's instantaneous, very, very rare. For most people, this is something that's been a process that's occurred over the course of years. But you guys' challenge this month is to see the correlation between what you're standing on, and if what you're standing on or upholding or aspiring to, whether or not it's in service to you. I say that to offer you an option because I'm just being real here. Looking at you guys' two overall energy cards, this is the subject of the sentence. This card is the period at the end of the sentence, right? You guys' overall energy card, oh wow, the Emperor's underneath there. You guys' underlying energy, like what was at the bottom of your deck, is the devil. That's y'all, Capricorn, by the way. Mercury retrograde in my mouth. Okay, anyway, it's the death in the reverse, which means that you're holding on to something that needs to die, that needs to be let go so that it may be transformed. If we look at your above and below energy, they're both the number 5, right? One a major arcana, the other one a minor arcana, being a pentacle. Your central energy is a pentacle. You are an earth sign. I'm just saying that. No, I'm just kidding. But these are things that are tangible, real life, external life type of things, right? So this is holding on to something that's well past its expiration date. For some of y'all, this really might just be a Taurus person or a Scorpio person, or you might have Taurus or Scorpio in your chart, one or the other. But what lets me know that it's intended for you guys to transform is because what's at the root of all of this is the death card, but it's in the reverse, meaning the vibration of death is here, right? But because you have free will, you're resisting it. So whatever in your life is either falling away or feels like you're beating a dead horse or hitting a brick wall, and no matter how hard you try, it's not working. Going back to this micromanaging the universe, maybe it's time to reconsider that maybe this particular path is not for you. Or you've been living a life up to this point that was never intended to belong to you in the first place. And it's just something that you're doing or a path that you're following because you thought that's what you were supposed to do or the only way that you could do it. It's almost as if this month is a revolution for Capricorn because it's offering you an opportunity to see a life that you never knew existed. And it's one that's very much in alignment with your truth. You know what I mean? So I feel every roadblock or every loss that you guys have experienced up to this point wasn't that God hates you or your whole life is falling apart, but it's a course correction. It's time for you to get on your rightful path. And with the Queen of Swords being your energy that's going into July, we're talking about full-on transformation. That's what the Queen of Swords is all about. It's a person who's been through so many things in their life, but they possess a great deal of wisdom and insight from their experiences because they allow their experiences to make them better as opposed to bitter. They learn the art of surrender. They learn the beauty of letting go. They understand the temporaryism of life, that in the bigger scheme of things, that our lifespan, even if you live to 104, that in contrast to the bigger picture of humanity is the snap of a finger. We don't have that long here. You know what I mean? And some of us, I mean, big time, big picture, none of us know how long we're going to be here. So you want to make the most of each moment that you're here. You don't want to live your life downtrodden by something that doesn't bring you joy. And of course, even with all the things that are happening in our world right now, you know, us not having control over other people or the situations that, you know, Corona and social distancing and things, these are things that are outside of our control, yes, but you still have control over yourself. You still have the ability to have peace amidst chaos, you know? So I feel a huge part of this month is going to be digging deep and reevaluating your values, what you're building your life on, what you believe, why you believe that, and building an entirely new belief system that's based on that. And finally letting go of a life or a path or people that aren't in service to you anymore, you know? I feel like it was something else I wanted to tell y'all. Dang, it's been 25 minutes. It was something else I wanted to tell you guys. Oh, that's what it is. If you guys are not familiar of your values and stuff like that, those of you who did the Purpose RX seminar, y'all know that. But those of you who don't, on my website, there's a tab at the top of my website that says Purpose RX. And the first part of the webinar series, I turned it into a toolkit. So pretty much everything that everyone got. And if you are a Capricorn and you have not got your toolkit because you didn't fill out the survey, please fill out that survey. Because there's like, I think 10 people that still need to retrieve their toolkits. But if you didn't make it to it and you guys are interested in unearthing your values, like how to do that, it's a whole exercise that we do in that, and that's over on my website. So I wanted to tell you guys that, but I'm about to go over to Vimeo, my website, Patreon, and YouTube members to do you guys extended. So if you are about that life, follow me over there, you know what I'm saying? But if not, I still love your freaking face, and I will see you guys sooner than later, you know what I'm saying? Step into your power, Capricorn. It's a wonderful life that awaits you, you know? It's time, my friend. All right, that's enough. Love your face. Deuces. The truth is, Cap, I really believe you guys are being led to once upon a time, y'all knew what you were doing and why. I want to know what real love is like. So you leave this marriage, right? And then you meet another person a month later, period.